Let's break some of the falsehoods about what frugal living means. And some people think it means you never go out or you're clipping coupons all day. Think again. I'm going to show you exactly what frugal living is all about. Today I want to bust a couple of these falsehoods about what frugal living is. People think that when you're frugal, it means you're cheap. And that's not the case. It's just you value your money, you value the purchases that you are making, and you spend for the value and you cut the waste. You only purchase the things that you need. A lot of times you go shopping and you pick up needless things that you don't need, you don't really want, you just in a habit of just buying. And some people are like that. They are in such a habit of buying things that their income is constantly drained because they are unable to stop their spending habits. And another myth is if you're frugal, you can't save money. That's not true. You can save money if you're frugal because when you're frugal, you have a budget. And in that budget, you're living below your means. And that right there helps you to save money. So any money that you don't spend throughout the month, you get to put into savings or IRA or whatever you want to do to build you a nest egg. When you live frugally, one of the falsehoods is that you can't have any fun. Yes, you can. Do you know how many fun activities that don't cost much, or a lot of them are free? But again, this all depends on what you consider fun. Me, taking a walk is fun. Finding free concerts where I live is fun. Just sightseeing in your town is fun. Going to places where you live and exploring your city is fun. But like I say, it all depends on you and what you consider fun. It's about just finding happiness and joy in the low cost or free activities that are available to you. A falsehood about frugality is you have to have coupons or you do DIYs to save money. And that's not true. You can purchase just like everyone else. It's just like I say, when you purchase, there's an intention of what you're buying. And I say, it's just like with me. I kept a couch that was old until I could afford a new couch. And that to me is frugal living. The couch was, almost 9 years old, and it had worn out. And so I took it because it came apart, and I put two of the seats together that were still good. And I used that I used that for almost a year or two, almost a year and a half maybe, like that. But that's being frugal and intentional with what I'm doing. I knew I couldn't afford a new couch at that time, so I made do with what I had. And that's part of being intentional and frugal with what you're doing. Check your spending habits and make sure you're just not buying needless gadgets, buying things that you really don't need. It's just sometimes you see that you have an abundance of money or extra money, and you take it, and instead of investing it or saving it, you go and buy something that you really don't need. It's something that you may have wanted, and so now you're going to get it. Me, personally, I don't have any gadgets or anything that I really want. So when I do get extra money, I purchase the things that I need. And that's just part of being frugal. Now, sometimes you go out and you splurge on a new hairstyle, massages, getting your nails done, and you just have to be careful. Same thing with subscriptions. I remember, this was years ago, I had a subscription to Planet Fitness. I had a whole year subscription, a whole year membership for that. I went there one time, once, and I couldn't get out of that contract, so I had to pay I think it was $30 for a full year, and I never even went. I went one time and I didn't like it, so I didn't go anymore. So when you get memberships and subscriptions, make sure it's something that you're going to use. Make sure it's something that you really want to do. And now, I find activities to do at home, such as walking, dancing, stretching, things like that, where I don't have to feel the need that I need to go to a gym and all that. Now, that's fine if you have the income. That's fine if that's in your budget. But other than that, no. Same with the going to the movies. If you go to the movies, go during the go before before noon, or just afternoon, early afternoon, and you get a discount. You get a discount for being a senior. So you can still enjoy these activities. It's just you have to be mindful of when you will get the best deal. And that's a lot of times with being frugal, you're just more aware of how you can save money and still enjoy life. That's the best part. But some people, they have enough money where they don't care. They just spend money. It doesn't matter, and that's nice. That's great if that's what you can do. But when you're on a low income or something like that, and you just are being frugal and budgeting, that's what you have to do. But being frugal does not mean that your life is boring. It does not mean that you're just really poor and you don't have this and you don't have that. People, I think sometimes, they make their life what they want it to be. You just have to pick your battles. And frugality is not for everyone. Some people, they don't know how to budget. Some people don't know how to catch better deals. So when someone is living a frugal life, what it looks like is someone who plans their meals. They're like a planner. They plan their meals. They plan their trips. They plan their vacations. They have a schedule pretty much for everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, because sometimes when you don't plan or you don't have a schedule, you kind of lose track of what's really going on. And so, when you're looking at being frugal, you want to make sure you're debt free. And if you're not debt free, you're working on it. You're working on being debt free. You're canceling unused subscriptions. You're not paying for memberships that you don't use. And you're paying off your credit cards, your home, your car, and you're just trying to become debt free. Any money that you are able to save, you're investing it in quality savings accounts. And that's just part of being frugal. So what is frugal living? It's a beautiful life. Frugal living is a lot of planning, a lot of being intentional with your spending, and just living your life on a budget, and still doing all the things that everyone else does. And you just may do it on a smaller scale or on a smaller income. But living frugal is not a bad thing. Not at all. I have found living frugal to be a wonderful thing. So let me know in the comments what you guys do or what you do to live a frugal life, or some things that you've heard about being frugal that's just not true. Because I've heard that being frugal, you can't save money, and that's not true. You can save money being frugal. So you guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, look for the heart. Tell me what color it is.